Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. That allergies that I was referencing turned into a cold. So I feel like I have a full-blown cold. But, I'm going to put some of that on me. I really am, because I was never even absent one day last year, and I have been playing games with my food, and I know that when I am putting toxic waste into my body, it is a panic attack for all my healthy cells that suddenly say, oh my gosh, we're going to have to put all of our energy into cleaning up this mess, and we will not be able to defend against things like colds and germs that are desperately coming Juliana's way, because we're cleaning up the slop of the mess that she submitted us to. I'm so sorry, body. I get it. I really do, because I've been saying I am burning the candle at both ends. I am pushing myself to get all the things done. I am driving 100 miles a day. I'm doing all these extra things, and if I let down my guard and choose to eat junk, there's a good chance that I'm going to have a consequence for it, which is this cold. And some people might think that's hocus pocus. They're like, you know what, people get colds, get off your back. But I don't think it's about that. I really don't, because like I said, I was never even absent last year. I had a sense all the time that I had to be on my game. And in this new job, in this situation, I have to be on my game more than ever. And I was realizing I hadn't written in my journal a few days, and initially it was because I was just doing so well. But after that, it was because I was up to no good and hiding. And that is straight up. And I'm sorry for that. I really am. But of course, I was completely clean and well today. I actually had celery juice this morning, and then I chose to just fast all day, and I didn't eat dinner until 6 o'clock, because I just needed my body to figure it out. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I actually had to rest for part of the day, and it's going on 10 o'clock at night, and I'm still doing my lesson plans. Oh well, I need to choose wellness all the time, because I cannot handle it. Anyway, though, my talk today was having childlike faith. I don't know why people want to hesitate to ask God for help anyway. I don't know why people want to hesitate to let the one person who knows them completely, understands their every thought and whim, loves them unconditionally. Why would you avoid that guy? I can't even imagine. I was reading a vegan post, and this person was saying, what do you think about how the Bible says that you can eat animals? And then this person wrote back and said, well, the Bible also says you can abuse women and children, and the Bible also says, blank, blank, blank. And why are you trusting this like puppet in this guy who doesn't even exist? And they just went off. And I was like, wow, peace be with you. I cannot even imagine. My thought that I told the person was that certainly during Jesus' time, and in the early Testament, animals and the planet weren't infected. The seas weren't chemical laden, right? And animals weren't being injected with poisons to make them edible, ha ha ha. And so at that time, we were welcome, if we needed to eat an animal. But of course they avoided the part in the book of Genesis, which talked about eating plants and how we were called to eat plants. But whatever, I'm not going there. I just wanted to talk about the simple faith of a child, which I absolutely love. And I've shared this story before, but I'd love to share it again, about my precious little niece when I was serving as a nanny in New Zealand. I was taking care of my nieces, and they were 3 and 5, and I was with the little 3-year-old, and we were on the way to get the 5-year-old, and we were driving this old 1940s clunker. They called it Old Bess. And we were driving, and we were in Auckland, New Zealand, and it was pouring rain, like sheets of rain. And this car was so old, and I wasn't even familiar with driving on the opposite side of the road and everything else. But all of a sudden, the windshield wipers quit. And I was like, are you kidding me? It is like pouring sheets of rain. So we pulled over, and I said, oh my gosh, Jenna, we've got to pray to God to make the windshield wipers work. Let's just ask God to please fix the windshield wipers. So I was like, dear God, please fix the windshield wipers. And so we were sitting there, and a few minutes went by, and I'm still waiting and begging for this to work. There weren't cell phones or anything, right? Begging for the windshield wipers to work. And finally, I hear this little voice from the back seat saying, Aunt Julie, do you think God is home? Because he hadn't answered our prayers yet. And I said, oh, he's home. I'm sure he's home. We just need to wait a little while, and let's just pray again. And I was desperately praying. And finally, the windshield wipers started working. And I said, oh, yay, the windshield wipers are working. Let's thank God. And so we said, thank you, God, for the windshield wipers. And we started driving. And after a couple of minutes, I heard this little voice in the back say, Aunt Julie, did God say you're welcome? And I just thought, this precious little person who is absolutely taking this faith at face value was waiting for the God of the universe to say, you're welcome. Why wouldn't he, right? Why wouldn't he have manners like she'd been taught? Oh my goodness, did God say you're welcome? That is the faith of a child. That is the faith of a child. And I was remembering last weekend when I was talking about having the faith of a mustard seed, which is one of the smallest seeds and grows into one of the largest plants. And that if we could have just that small faith, we could move mountains, right? I've seen the miracles a zillion times. I trust that whatever God's up to, it's in my favor. And I ask and expect the miracles all the time. And I'm so grateful to have that faith of a child. Do I fret? Yeah. Do I argue with God sometimes? Absolutely. But mostly I just rejoice and love knowing him. And people have asked me before, like, what if it's all for naught? What if there is no God? What if you end up dying and you're laying in your grave and there's no God and there's no heaven and none of the things that you kept wishing for? Then what? And I always thought, even if none of it was real, it was the best way to live. It was the most giving, loving, excellent way to perceive the world while I was on the planet. And I would never regret that. All right, people, peace be with you. And I'd love a prayer for this cold, but I am taking responsibility for it, and I feel like I'm back on my game. And I will take this consequence to remind myself of the better way to live. So I'd love you to share in the comments below. How's your faith? Do you need help in that area? I am a wizard at faith, and it doesn't matter what your religion you are. I could just get you closer to your understanding of God, and I would love that. So like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. And until we talk again, know that I prayed for you, put you in the prayer book at church, and best of all, trust that you're blessed with a childlike belief. It's worth it.